Hi, everyone, and welcome to Proverbs Home. This is Word of Encouragement. I hope that you're doing great and you're having a great day. You know, the other day, my husband and I were walking around our garden, and we realized that the animals have decided to come in our garden and eat off our tomato plants and our pepper plants. So we were a little disappointed. We didn't get a whole lot of cherry tomatoes this year, the very sweet tomatoes that we love. It was so different from last year. We didn't produce an abundance in our harvest, and we were a little disappointed about that. Now, we did get some squash and we did get cucumbers and we got a huge zucchini. So we were really happy about that. But our harvest did not really produce what it needed to produce because of all the rain we got. And it wasn't just us, it was people in our area that have experienced the same thing. And we've had animals come in the backyard. We've had deer, and we even had an otter, and we had rabbits that escaped from our neighbor's house and ate up some of our crops. So it's been a very interesting year. The harvest we really wanted to produce, we had a really hard time producing that harvest. But that's okay. We'll be able to go to the produce stand and get some fresh produce like we already have done. And we picked up some great acorn squash, which I will share a picture with you. Talking about harvest. What kind of harvest are we producing spiritually in our lives when people look at us? What kind of fruit are we bearing when people look at us, when people see us, when we say we're Christians? Are we bearing fruit that people can look at us and say, that is a Christian? That is somebody that loves God because of the way he or she treats me, because the way they are, because how they are out in public, how they are in behind closed doors. None of us are perfect. None of us have arrived. We all have problems sometimes, right? Things we struggle with. There's not one of us that has arrived yet. We will arrive when we get up to heaven, but while we're here on earth, the harvest that we produce should change lives and touch lives. And you know, there's probably lives that you are changing right now that you're not going to know about till you get to heaven. And they'll say it was because of your character, your harvest, the way you lived your life, that it changed my life. You know, God uses us. He says the harvest is plenty, but the workers are few. We need to go out there and produce a harvest of abundance. We need to go out there into the fields and go and just produce that harvest that is going to encourage somebody to know about Jesus. It's very important. Today's encouragement verse is Psalms 107:37. They sow fields and planted vineyards. They yield a fruitful harvest. Joel 2:23. Be glad, people of Zion. Rejoice in the Lord your God, for he has given you the autumn rains. Because he is faithful, he sends you abundant showers, both autumn and spring rains, as before. God sends the rains. He sends it to our garden. Even those deer and those otters and those bunnies. He sends the animals. So if your harvest didn't produce that much this year, be encouraged this Sunday and know that God will provide for you. And don't forget to go out in that harvest and to be an example of a fruitful life. And this is a country kitchen book. It's called Making Apple Pies and Crust. And there's a recipe on here I'm going to share with you real quick. And it's very easy to make. You could even buy store crust. It does say to make your own crust, but you don't have to. You can use store crust. Here we go. 6 tart apples, 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 3 tablespoons of milk, 2 tablespoons of butter, 1.5 cups of homemade pastry mix. So that's if you want to make your own pastry. Slice and peel apples into empty pie pan. Pour over them a mixture of sugar, cinnamon, and salt. Add milk, a dot with butter. Sprinkle the pastry mix over the top, patting down to smooth. Bake in a 350-degree oven, 30 to 40 minutes, and you got yourself a delicious apple pie. Very quick. So let me go on ahead and just bring up the recipe if you want to screenshot it. And you can make that this Sunday for your family. Have a nice apple pie this afternoon with a nice soda pop. a nice tea or coffee. Don't forget to get to church if you can. It's so important that we don't forsake the fellowship of the brethren and the people in our church that pray with us and help us through our struggles. I love you all. Most of all, remember Jesus loves you. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.